Alright guys, as I said, we're working on a 95 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's a V6 four-wheel drive. We're going to change the rear differential gasket right here. The one that's supposed to be right here along this line. And as you can see, the bolts should be about, I think, 10, 12 bolts. It's a size 13. I'm using this as to open it up. Breaker bar with a 1-inch extension with a 13. That's just to break it, just to open it up. And once I open it up, I'll show the inside. Now I already disconnected most of the bolts on here. Now the trick about differentials on the Jeeps is that since it doesn't actually have a drain plug, the only way to actually change this fluid is to literally take off this cover. Now once we take off the cover, you have to change the gasket. It's a must. There's a trick with this though, is that you have to be able to just slide whatever you have inside here just far enough to crack it open so that you don't mess yourself up or your tools. And that's the little trick. It's just to crack it open just enough so it is able to leak out all the fluid. And you don't get any mess on you, and you can pretty much do this anywhere without any bit of trouble on you. Alright guys, now I'm taking out the last 3 bolts that were holding it in and pretty much just holding the cover. Now the only thing holding this cover now is the seal. Alright, now for those of you who do not want to get messy, this is not a job for you guys. And that, my friends, is what the inside of a differential looks like. As you can see, it's very black, very worn, and this comes from not changing the fluid in time. Alright guys, as you can see, we have the gasket off. We cleaned up both the housing and the cover. So now we're going to put on the gasket. Now, this gasket won't naturally stay on here, so we're going to have to first just add a couple dabs of this silicone. High temp for gaskets on differentials, on what else? Head gaskets. You can use this for everything, and it doesn't mess around with rubber, which is a good thing. So now all we're going to do is we're going to add a couple dabs to this. As you see, our pan is clean now, very nice. So now I just have to add a couple dabs just to make our gasket stay on here. Not too much, but just enough. You don't want to add an excessive amount, because then what will happen is the gasket will not be able to seat properly, and we're going to have bulges where we shouldn't have, and that might cause leaking, so we don't want that. So we're just putting enough so we have a nice even coat. Now you got that taken care of. Now, as all gaskets do, they have a front and a back to it. There's a smooth side and there's a rough side. Now the rough side is going to face the housing right here. So the smooth side is going to face this, the cover. So since we have the smooth side facing down right now, we're just going to apply this, and voila. And now we just put it on there. But we also have to make sure all our bolts are clean before we do this. Now we have finished cleaning it, and we have put on the cover back on with the thing. Pause it. Alright guys, now as you can see, we have put back on the gasket. Yes, it's now inserted and everything. Now we just bolting on the screws, tightening everything up, and we have to fill up the drain. We're going to fill from here. The specified what we have for the vehicle is 75/90 weight. But since AutoZone or Advanced Auto didn't have that, we had to pick up 80/90 weight. Now, considering the year of the vehicle and the mileage it has, the 80/90 weight will suffice. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier oil, but it's good because this differential needs it. Other than that, nothing else. We have now finished putting on the bolts. We have put on the sealant, gasket, we filled it up. The level is the minute you stick your finger inside here and you feel fluid. That's the level. That's how you check your level for your differential on this back here. Other than that, as you can see, no leaks or anything on the sides. There's nothing. So we're good to go. Good shape. And that is how you change the gasket on your rear differential for a 95 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4x4 V6.